So here is my best guess as to why this game was so difficult for students and just had everyone running for the hills. First, there's a lot of in and out grouping games on the LSAT, take 6 of 10, 7 of 9, whatever that is. There's a lot of tiered games on the LSAT, boys and girls, cats and dogs, all kinds of things like that. So we do a lot of this, we do a lot of that. We rarely do both. And this game is a very rare type of game where you actually have an in and out game with tiers. So it's a lot of information to juggle, and it is a type of game that people have not had a lot of practice on. My cohort, Colin Elsie, the guy with the birds and the stones, all that nonsense, he thinks he's a goddamn Nostradamus because he predicted that there would be something about dinosaurs on the LSAT, but that's akin to saying that Native Americans might come up. It's gonna happen. However, this type of game is actually one that I've been working with for students for a while because they used to show up and they've gone away for a little while, but they've been doing lots of in and out and lots of tiers. It was time for them to throw them both together. In between all of the Jurassic Park flashbacks, let's actually talk about this game. So we were given 7 types of dinosaurs, and who the hell is the LSAC? Where's the real dinosaurs here? The Brontosaurus, Triceratops, the favorites when we were all children? Let's just go through this list real quick and talk about ones that we agree or disagree with. Iguanosaur. So apparently they just think you can put "saur" at the end of any other type of, like you could have a donkey saur or something like that, but I don't think that exactly works. We got the Lambeosaur, Plateosaur, if I got any of these wrong, please forgive me, Stegosaur, Tyrannosaur, which is one that I've actually heard of, the Ultrasaur, which seems like some sort of condition that people go through to be Ultrasaur, and then finally the Velociraptor. That whole deal from Jurassic Park. The trick is that it not only gives you the dinosaurs, but then we have colors, green, mauve, red, and yellow, and that is why this game has famously been coined the Mauve Dinosaurs, because of course nothing scarier than a mauve dinosaur. So here's what we gotta do. You gotta pick some of the dinosaurs for a display. We're taking 5 of 7, so that makes this an in and out game, and then we're leaving 2 out, but you don't just need to know which of your 7 dinosaurs are being selected, we also need to know what color they are. So I wanna build a setup that looks something like a so. So I got my in group, the 5 that are being selected, I got a space for what dinosaur it is and what color, and then I'm gonna leave 2 in my out group. On to the rules, and it's important that you visualized how all of these work. The first one tells us that we have 2 mauve dinosaurs, not at least 2, but exactly 2 mauve, so lucky us. We can just plug in mauve for our first 2 spots, and remember that the other 3 cannot be mauve. The next thing they say is that the Stegosaur, crowd favorite, is included, and it's gotta be red, so let's throw that in here too. Stegosaur is red, sounds pretty. The next rule says that the Iguanosaur is included only if it's green, or in other words, if we have the Iguanosaur, then it must be green. Similar to that, next rule says that if we have the Plateosaur, it's gotta be yellow. Plateosaur's there only if it's yellow. So those 2 are relatively similar. Then we get the next rule, which says that the Velociraptor is included only if the Ultrasaur is not. Now, if we just diagram that straight how it is, that would be if you have the V, then you can't have the U, but also, of course, that means if you have the U, you can't have the V, or a better way to think about that is you cannot have both V and U. And then the last rule, which is very tricky, and I think this also was an obstacle for people, says that if both the Lambeosaur and Ultrasaur are included, and this is a mouthful as you can tell, then at least one of them is not mauve. And that's hard. But essentially the way that we represent that is if you have both L and U on display or in your in group, then either L has to not be mauve or U has to not be mauve. Or both of them aren't mauve, but you could get away with one or the other.